bring all this to our panel. David Swerdlick's with us from the New York Times, and Niall Stanage is with us from The Hill. All right, let's talk about Haley. As I said, we are on this verdict watch that we have in this other case, guys. I give Brooke the same warning that we might cut away for that if it gets announced. But I'll throw up an Axios headline to throw some more on top of what Brooke was reporting. The scoop, as they put it, was that a Spencer Zwick is suiting up for Team Haley. Now, just someone watching at home might say, I don't know who that is. But for political types, they would say this is a guy who's a big money guy, was a big fundraiser for Mitt Romney back in the day. So, Niall, you first. Is the establishment in the Republican Party lining up now behind Nikki Haley, and what will that mean?
It seems to be beginning to do so, Connell, and I think that points as much to the weakness of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who, as we know, has ticked down in the polls, and Governor Haley, former Ambassador Haley, ticking upwards. Now, any candidate likes to have money rather than not, and obviously this talk of big donors coming on board is important. But I think the big question is there money that could be spent that would shake loose people currently supporting former President Trump? Because look at all the things we know about him, the impeachments, the indictments, everything else that comes with the Trump package, and he's 30 or 40 points ahead in the polls. So is there some magical ad that a big donor can spend $10 million on that changes that? I personally doubt it. So I think that's the big caveat.
You're probably right. And the only thing that, and I think we talked about this maybe even with you guys, David, last time you were on, the only hope for someone like Haley, set up this one-on-one matchup with Trump and then try to cut into that lead because it's only the two of you. My thinking on that, though, is it's going to be tough to get someone like a Vivek Ramaswamy, even if at some point there's no chance for him to win, to actually drop out of the race. I mean, at least I think from watching and listening to what he said. So that would be an issue for Haley. How do you think it all plays out, David?
Connell, I don't think Haley needs Ramaswamy to drop out of the race. First of all, I agree with Niall. Money is better than not money in politics. What I see happening right now with Haley, and we'll see how long it lasts, is that this is like a long-distance race. She's been sort of drafting behind Governor DeSantis, him running front runner. And now that he's fading, now that he's not getting the traction that he wants, she's making her move. Part of her move is that the field is thinning and she's trying to set herself up as the main alternative to Trump. The other part of it, Connell, is the big donors. Zwick, there's Ken Griffin floating out there who might make a move. This signals to us in the press, to the public, to other donors that people are trying to coalesce around a winner. They want return on investment. And I think it also, money is going to help someone, even if they can't beat Trump in the end, stay in the race until her state, the third primary on the Republican side, South Carolina, to see how she can do.
Right. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see what DeSantis does and see how he's looking after Iowa. That'll be interesting. I want to talk about the wider presidential race with you guys again, because this whole Joe Manchin third party, I don't even know if third party is the right word for it. If we have RFK Jr. and Cordell West, how many parties there's going to be at some point. But the latest on Manchin, and this is a USA Today headline, Senator Joe Manchin says he would absolutely consider a presidential run in 2024. He did an interview with NBC where he was asked about it, Niall, and he said, I'll do anything I can to help my country. And, you know, you're saying, does that mean you would consider it? And Joe Manchin said, yeah, absolutely, I would. So sounds, I think, like a candidate once again, and someone who could really have an impact, Niall, on the race.
He certainly sounds like he's moving toward it. And remember, when he was making his retirement announcement, he talked about mobilizing the middle as a kind of rationale for a candidacy. Now, you made a really important point, Connell, at the very start when you said we say third-party candidates, but at this stage we're at fourth or fifth or sixth alternative candidates, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jill Stein, Cornel West, all in the race. It's very difficult to game out exactly how that works out. In relation to Manchin himself, I have difficulty seeing where the Joe Manchin for president constituency really is. I understand that there are a lot of Americans frustrated with the existing choices. I understand that when you say to people in an abstract way, would you like an alternative, they say yes. But who are the Joe Manchin?
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.